Hi there, treasures. I'm doing this thing again when I'm trying to record at the same time as I'm recording, double recording. I hope you're all well. I want to come in and have a little chat about holidays and what does it mean and what the normally looks like for a lot of people, and especially in this world of social media where we see so many things. And very interesting part is that the holiday was amazing and it was great and there was so many experiences, but the interesting part was that I got to truly see and understand so many depths and layers of myself, understanding the dynamic of my family, and truly understanding what I really enjoy and what I don't enjoy, and to see things in so many different ways. Also allowed for a lot of onion peels, if you want to say, to be open up and peeled open. And it was just truly really interesting to see what was frustrating me and ticking me off when I should just be so grateful for a holiday, right? And it was just so interesting to truly noticing that in so many different ways. So we went to Bali, we booked a ticket a week before we left. My partner had decided he really wanted to go on a holiday, and I said, hell yeah, why not? And what happened was that I had something in mind. This is what happens, right? That we expect something, we have an expectations. And what that straight away does, when we are expecting something, we straight away stopping us from receiving the experience to its fullest potential. So when we expect things, we have a certain view of what we think things are going to be like. And that actually stops us from receiving the full experience. So as soon as we're expecting something, we're actually stopping ourselves from receiving the full gift. So I had a sort of expectation. I booked this beautiful, like, in the jungle camp for one night. So my partner booked the first 2 nights, and we decided not to book too much in advance. And I found this beautiful, incredible, like, dome tent in the middle of the jungle of Ubud. I've been to Bali before, but I've never been to Ubud. I have a lot of different memories from Bali, so it was very interesting for me to go with my partner and my daughter. But never been to Ubud. I've seen this amazing jungle thing, and I was really only thinking about myself when I booked it. It was super cheap. I booked it, and I was like, yes, this is going to be amazing. I didn't really think about anything else. I was just so excited to go adventure. I've traveled a lot in my life, and I truly love traveling, adventuring. So I booked this little thing. We had 2 nights at Ubud. I've never been to Ubud, and I was so excited. I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. I found these, there were so many like health cafes, and there were so many really authentic health spots, if that makes sense, like little pockets everywhere of magical things that I really love. We checked into this really authentic Balinese style, a little hut in the middle of Ubud. It was amazing. We got there, and I started to realize straight away how many different things my family dynamic enjoy. And from the beginning it pissed me off, and then I realized that there's nothing to be pissed off about. It's exciting and incredible that we all enjoy different things, and to be able to be so aware and conscious of how we can support each other. And it was really interesting to see. And something that I'm really practicing is to have more fun and to be more light about things and just truly allow for myself to enjoy things. And this holiday really showcased a lot of things for myself and allowed for myself to realize that there's still so many things that I need to work on, which is amazing. I love being the student. And when these things come up, I get really excited, and I'm like, yes, there's another depth to me, and there's another layer of me, and there's more I need to understand and more I need to work on. I should have brought a blanket. I just jumped in my freezer, and now the after coldness is coming. I've been dancing and moving for a while, but now the after cold is coming. Anyway, so this holiday truly gifted me with a lot of things. We went on an adventure, we went whitewater rafting, which is something I normally wouldn't do, but my partner and my daughter really wanted to do it, and we did it because I wanting to be fun. I wanting to allow for myself to have more fun and be more adventurous, and realize that there's different ways of having fun, right? And my daughter often tells me, she's like, "You're so boring, mum. You just don't like to have fun." And I try to say that I like to have fun in different ways. So I really encouraged that. So we went whitewater rafting and it was amazing. It was truly cool. And that was also another step of realizing and understanding things that I started off, it was for 2 hours, it felt like 10 minutes, but I started off being really worried, holding on to my daughter. She was at the front of the raft and I was really scared and I was not allowing for myself to enjoy the ride. And then my partner reassured me she was fine, she's okay. And she kept telling me, she's like, "I'm fine, just leave me be." So I did. And holy moly, it was so enjoyable. It was so much fun and it was just truly enjoyable to allow for myself to enjoy the moment. And what I learned in that moment was I block myself still, even though all the work I've done, I still block myself from truly enjoying the moment because I allow for my fear to take over. And I was so proud of myself for being so conscious and aware of that. And anyway, I had a lot of different releases during this holiday. I had a lot of realizations, a lot of understanding. And there was part of me that allowed for me to feel guilt because I was not on my phone. I was totally turned off the phone. I did no work whatsoever. I did a ton of work on myself. And this is what's so funny to realize when I sit back is that I do work on my business, even though I might not work in my business. Because by working on myself and allowing for myself to see my truth and my layers, I also work on my business because it allows for me to be more educated and more understanding of my clients, right? And it's just so interesting to see my ego mind coming in and telling me that I should do things different, I should do this way, and I should do it that way. And it's not the truth. And I'm just loving the awareness and the conscious life that I am living. But what I want to talk about is that, so we go on holidays and we see these people sending all of these chats and snaps of all the amazing images and we're showing all the incredible things. And I didn't, because I just did not want to be on my phone at all. I wanted to be really present because this year I said I want to be a present mother and I want to be a present partner, and that is my main focus. And I really have been, and it's really amazing. And I just allowed for myself to feel so many different parts. I turned myself off in many parts. I blocked myself, and I was so aware of seeing and giving these parts of me attention. So instead of sharing all of the highlights and all the beautiful images and nature, because it was truly incredible. We had the best time. And we want to go back shortly again. I want to share with you how a holiday doesn't have to be just shiny rainbows and red roses and cocktails. If you allow for yourself to really tune in and be really aware of where you're experiencing different parts of yourself, in relation to yourself, in relation to the experience, in relation to your children, in relation to your partner, you truly can tap in and tune in to see and understand yourself in such a different way, which is just so incredible. And I had so many moments of this. And I had so many moments because there was no distraction of work, no distraction of a routine, no distraction of school, no distraction of housework, no distraction of anything. There was just purely being in the moment with my family. And by being that, I got to see myself. I really, really, really watched myself, and I seen my shadows. I seen so many parts of so many of my shadows, and it was so interesting. And I had a morning where I just got up and we were in one room the whole time, and most of the time we stayed different places, but most of the times I shared bed with my daughter because she always falls out of bed. And I felt like I couldn't do my thing, but I only told myself that I couldn't do my thing. I still could do my thing. I still could get up in the morning. I still could do my meditation, but I didn't. And then this morning I went to stuff it, and I went up and I sat on the balcony, and we were in this spot that had the most amazing sunrise, and I hadn't seen it. We'd been here for 3 mornings, and it was the last morning. I was like, fuck, I haven't seen the sunrise yet, and this is the best spot for it. And I was like, oh, I don't want to leave my daughter in the bed, this and that, so many excuses. And I went, shh, fudge it. So I went out and I sat on the balcony and I watched the sunrise, and I did my movement, and I sat in meditation, and I did my meditation a few mornings, but this morning I just told myself that it's enough of the excuses, Jenny. Just don't allow for them to take over your life. And I sat there and I watched the sunrise, and I had a beautiful morning. And then there was another morning. It was probably like 3 days before we went home, 2 days before we went home, and I sat and I just released. I just cried and I cried and I cried, and I just released so deeply what I'd been holding on for, and for really being grateful for myself of seeing my shadows. The shadow blocks me from experiencing fully. That shadow that blocks me from feeling fully. The shadow that blocks me from communicating fully. And to just be so proud of myself for seeing these. And we got back home and we all slept. My daughter, we got home at 6 o'clock in the morning. We sort of slept on the plane. And that day, my daughter was up all day. I was passed out on the couch basically all day. I was just sleeping in and out. I was absolutely exhausted. And I know that is from the growth. That holiday gifted me with so much growth. And it was amazing. And I slept, and then the next day my daughter slept to 10:30 in the day. She never sleeps for that long, and I was just sleeping and just really relaxed, and it was so beautiful to be a family unit being home. My partner went back to work straight away, and this morning was so incredible. I laid in bed and I woke up at about 7. My daughter was still asleep, and then I went back to bed and my partner was in bed. He was watching TV, and I just lay there and I just allowed for myself to be in his arms and just be there. And I was in and out of sleep, and he just held me and he held me close, and I just lay there and I felt so abundant. I felt so incredibly abundant, because the day before I felt a little bit of guilt for not working on the business, not being in the office, not doing the thing. And this morning I just lay there, and this monstrous wave of just pure abundance came over me, and it just filled my body and soul so deeply, and I felt so incredibly abundant. I didn't allow for any guilt to come over me for laying in bed for hours, and there was just nothing. I just felt so abundant. I went, oh my gosh, this gets to be my life. This is my life. And this feels so amazing. And it was such a beautiful feeling. Normally I would feel immense hatred on myself and judgment on myself for laying in bed so long in the morning and just being. But it felt so good. And I had a meeting, and my daughter's like, oh mom, we gotta go to the meeting. And I said, oh yeah. She goes, it's probably starting now. And I said to my partner, so what time is it? He's like, well, what time is your meeting? I said 9:30. He's like, well, it's 9:30 now. And I went, this is how amazing my life get to be. And I checked my phone, and the man I was meeting, he was 15 minutes late. And I was like, it's perfect timing. It's divine timing. And I got back, and I went, and I didn't want to mow the grass, but I did mow the grass. And it took me an hour, and I was sweating, and it was horrible, and I was so proud of myself for mowing because the grass was so high. We've been on holidays for a week, and I felt so good doing it, and it was physical. And as I was mowing, I was listening to a coaching call with my coach that was recorded, And I tuned into that. So I was educating myself, I was exercising at the same time, I was doing something, a physical task that was physical, visible to see what an improvement it made. And I did a whole yard, and I came back, and I was absolutely stuffed, like I was wet of sweat. And my partner goes, "Oh, it's a good time to do the weeding as well." So I'm not fucking doing the weeding. Are you kidding me? And I stood there and I listened to myself, and I went, "Jenny, this is a great time to do the weeding." I was like, "I really don't want to." And I always say that I hate being told what to do, but what I realized in that moment, except that I'm so aware and I'm seeing so much of myself from the outside of myself, which is truly incredible. And this happens when you do a lot of work. You're truly starting to see and understand yourself in such a depth. And I went, yes, this is a great time to do the weeding. The wet is the ground's wet, and I was like, this is perfect. And I weeded and I weeded and I weeded, and I pulled all the weeds out. We have so much weeds. And I was like, I hate weeding, I hate gardening. And then I realized that I don't actually hate it. I was just actually being lazy. And I allowed for excuses to take over. So I went out and I weeded, and it started pouring down rain. And I went, I can just give up and go inside now because it's raining, but I'm not going to. And I continued, and I did so much weeding, and it felt so good. I did like 3 big wheelbarrows of weeding. So what's the point of the story I'm telling you? The point is that we can allow for our excuses to take over our life. We can allow for excuses to stop us from so many things. And also, the point, the goal of this story is that the more work you put into yourself, the more you allow for yourself to truly see your truth and to see your shadows and to see yourself for who you are, the more you allow for yourself to experience and to see yourself from the outside. And when we do this, we see where we are stopping ourselves, and we see where we are blocking ourselves from living our life to its fullest potential in so many ways. And that is the magical part. I could just share the magic of my holiday and say how amazing it was, and I could just be blindfolded and not allow for myself to actually see what was happening through that phase. But I allowed for myself to see it, and through that comes growth. It felt uncomfortable at parts, and I know that comes with growth. And I can now sit back and cherish that and go, wow, thank you so much for the gifts of that holiday, for allowing for me to see all these different parts of myself. Not judge myself for not enjoying every part 100%, because I now sit back and I do enjoy it, because I see myself and I see where I'm blocking myself from experiencing everything to its fullest potential. And to go out and mow the grass, and to go and do the things, even though we give ourselves all the excuses, because I've said it before, there's always so many excuses. So I'm going to share some magical images of our beautiful holiday, but I want you all to know that when you see the things that people share, I wish that people could share what they were experiencing and what came forth in that experience. And to allow for yourself to truly be vulnerable, and to be that clear and conscious in your mind that you see all the gifts that comes with every single experience. Not to judge yourself, or not to hide the things, or not to pretend, but to truly just receive every single experience and gift in all and everything that you do. And this morning, as I sat down to have my beautiful cacao, which is the first cup I've had since I came home, I needed a new journal, so I went in and had a look, because I have so many journals. And I found this one. I was like, oh, I think this is a pretty new one. And the first page of the book is from the 22nd, oh fuck, I just seen this, 22nd of the 2nd, 2016. 2222 2016. Can you believe it? That is insane. I didn't even realize that this morning when I looked at it. And this is what I wrote. I can't believe how far I have come. And this is what I said to myself yesterday when I was sitting back looking back on our holiday, and I went, I can't believe how far I've come, and I can't believe how proud I am of myself for allowing myself to be so aware of where I'm at and where my mind goes. So the 22nd of the 2nd, 2016. 9, 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, that was before I was even pregnant. Very interesting. I can't believe how far I have come. I love myself. I really do. Sure, I am not perfect. No one is. I am loved and I am love. I know what I want and I know it will happen. I truly look myself in the mirror and I love what I see. All the things I have wished for, I now do. I just do it and I don't worry. You grow older and wiser, and boy, how true it is. So, when I share with you my experiences, I want you to understand this line here. I truly look myself in the mirror and I love what I see. You understand that that took me years to get to that point, and that is why I so deeply can share my wisdom with you, and I know that what I share will change your life because I did it myself. I walked a path. And what I also know is that the more I continue reading there was a big gap in between chapters, was that there was a time about probably a year after that where I was sitting in so much pain and loneliness, and I read that through. There was pages of it, and I understand my cycles and I understand my loops, and I'm here to break them because I know that I can and I know that I am. But just because you do the work doesn't mean that your life is going to be flawless, because the flaws is the magic, the flaws is the lessons, and the flaws are the pieces that are there for us. But to read that piece from the 22nd of the 2nd, 2016 was just so profound for me this morning. It made me look back and realizing how far I truly have come. And the sentence, I truly look myself in the mirror and I love what I see, was so beautiful for me to read, because I know how far I've come when it comes to working on my body and working on myself and truly loving myself for who I am. That took me so long to get to that point. And it just showed for me how incredibly strong my message is, and how profoundly I know that I will and I can change your life. And that it's not me doing it, it's not me changing your life, but by me sharing my message and my knowledge and my experiences, you will change your life. So yeah, I found it really incredible this morning when I sat there and I read this. I was like, wow, Jenny, you truly have come a long way, and it's amazing and incredible. So when you look at all these fantastic images from people going on holidays, they might just have the fantastic pieces to show you. But what I encourage you to do is that I encourage you to allow for yourself to be extremely aware and conscious of your life, to see your flaws, to see the blocks, and to see the hinders in your life, because they are your gifts. And when you choose to become truly aware and conscious of your life, and you choose to see all of the things, that's when you allow for yourself to grow and come through and peel the layers off constantly to bloom into that beautiful being that you truly are. And there's so many layers of us that I honestly don't believe we will ever be fully naked. And I think that's beautiful. So that's my little story from a little holiday. I hope you enjoy it. And if you do enjoy it, please share with your friends. Please let them know. And I would love to know if you have anything you want to share with me. Please jump on my socials. I am Jenny Oceans on Instagram. Please jump on, send me a message, and share something with me. Share what you enjoyed out of the podcast. Share what you didn't enjoy. Share what it made you realize, what it made you think about, and also what you would like to hear more about. I would love to know that. As always, I'm so proud of you for being here. I'm so proud of you for spending time and gifting yourself the time to understand yourself deeply and educate yourself and allow for yourself to spend time into what's truly nurturing and gifting your body and soul with what it needs. To allow for yourself to dig deeper into your own life is so magical. I'm sending you so much love and light. Always so much love and light. See you next time.